Did you ever just want to snuggle up to your partner, play a game together, solve some puzzles, and be inspired by another couple working through their problems? All while having a blast enjoying creative visuals, mechanics, and game references? Well, that was my experience with It Takes Two. Well, I should say mine and my fiance's experience, because after all, this game really does take two. I mean that in every aspect. On both a narrative and mechanical level, this game was designed around being a cooperative experience where two people get to learn how to work better together. Hell, I don't think you can even start the game without having two players connected. It Takes Two follows the story of Cody, a stay-at-home father, and May, an overworked engineer. Together, they have a child named Rose, but their problems have grown too great and they have decided to divorce. In desperation, Rose consults the Book of Love by Dr. Hakim to try and save their marriage. Naturally, Dr. Hakim is some kind of warlock because Cody and May's souls are transferred to dolls and they must work together to try and revert the curse. It sounds wacky, and it is, but it's so much fun. I'd want to say that I recommend it to everybody, but I can only actually recommend it to people that have somebody to play it with. I also want to reiterate that this game is about a married couple working through married couple problems. So this story will likely work better for couples, but not so much for people that aren't couples. However, the game itself is fun enough that people who don't care about the story at all will still likely connect to it. So go out, find yourself somebody to play with, and have a blast. Because now it's time to talk about some more specific details, and that means spoilers. Like I said, this game was designed to be played by two people. Every level grants both players complementary powers. There's the hammer and the nails, the two poles of a magnet, which are both very logical pairs, even though May is right when she says that's not how magnets work at all. Then, naturally, there's the sap gun and the match rocket launcher, cloning and time travel, and of course, May's gravity boots and Cody's ability to grow and shrink at will. If I had to pick two words to describe my time with this game, they would be whimsical and joyous. Not only are the abilities incredibly creative, but they are always perfectly complementary, even the ones that seemingly have nothing to do with each other. Like, what do cloning and time travel have in common? I don't know. Certainly not as much as a hammer and nails, but I'd be damned if those two powers aren't absolutely necessary to get through the level. I also noticed that most of the time the powers seemed to fit the character. May would get the more practical and Cody would get the more fantastical. Like in the dungeon crawler sequence, May got the knight equipment and Cody got the mage's robes. Or in the garden, May got gardening tools and Cody got the ability to turn into various plants. I really appreciated the level concepts as well. I really liked how a lot of them were exaggerated versions of a real-life marital problem that they had, and by working through it as dolls, they were simultaneously fixing their relationship. See, bosses like the vacuum and toolbox are a good example of this. May swore that she would fix them, but never did, causing tension in the real relationship, but they get to overcome it together as dolls. Every level has some significance like this. The snow globe is a reminder of a good time in their relationship, the greenhouse is where Cody's passion faded, and everything in Rose's room references how each parent interacts with Rose. I also really liked the other game references in here, as well as how varied the gameplay was. There's references to dungeon crawlers, Crash Bandicoot, and a rather obvious one to Rainbow Road. So obvious, in fact, that Cody even calls it out. There's flying sections with an awesome Mortal Kombat style fight between May and a squirrel general. There's stealth sections, a chase sequence where the camera changes angles 3 times, you can ride animals, there's ice skating, there's a reference to Super Mario Galaxy, there's a part where you have to play Guitar Hero, there's boss fights, jumping puzzles, regular puzzles, and a whole bunch of minigames, including chess. They took the time to program in chess. This game is filled to the brim with references and it never got old for me because it was all good fun. Overall, the game is just a good time, and there's some good relationship stuff as well. Dr. Hakim is an insane person, but he talks some sense. He stresses collaboration, communication, giving each other time, being attracted to the other person, and following your own individual passion. This game gets more incredible the more that I think about it. It's so humorous and fun, while also handling some serious topics. It has so many different types of gameplay and so many other references that are sprinkled throughout, while also allowing Dr. Hakim's quest to fix their relationship to serve as the foundation that holds it all together and lets it all make sense. On top of all that, it's one of the best co-op experiences I've ever had, and it's the perfect length and price. It turns out, after thinking and talking about this game, it might be one of my favorite games. It's definitely my favorite co-op game, so, play it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. See ya.